Alright, so Disney's 100th anniversary film, tribute, whatever you want to call it, Wish, premiered in theaters on Wednesday. I didn't have enough time to go see it, but I am finally getting around to it. So today I thought it was time for me to stop and talk about Wish. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My name is SW Nation, and you are free to comment down below. What did you think of Disney's tribute to themselves, Wish? Comment down below all of your thoughts in the comment section. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. That link is in the description, as well as the various Disney reviews and rankings that are on my channel. With all of that out of the way, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get right into our review.
Imagine a place where wishes come true, where your heart's desire can become a reality. What if I told you that place is within reach? All you have to do is give your wish to me.
Look, I gotta say that I'm getting sick and tired of doing these rants, man. I think Disney has just had a really bad year, and for the most part, I've just been ranting about their stuff. I've been ranting about a lot of things this year. I used to love everything I saw or even liked it. Bottom line is, I did not like Wish. Let's talk about it. So I saw it today. It's the 24th at the time of me recording this. And let's just start off with the positives. When the musical numbers happen, I get chills. Admittedly, the songs were great. They're sung very well, and I can't complain when it comes to any of the voices here. Speaking of voices, Chris Pine is the standout here. Ariana DeBose singing was incredible because I know her from West Side Story. She's a very good actress in West Side Story, and she was also in Hamilton. So I was actually okay with her singing inside of this film. And Chris Pine surprised me with his singing as well. But in particular with Chris Pine, it seemed like he was having a whole lot more fun playing the villain. And to his merit, I like the fact that we know off rip that King Magnifico is the villain, and he continues to get crazier and crazier throughout the film. The animation is kind of like a painting come to life. It looks like the christening of Jesus Christ, you know, the first Christmas. It kind of looks like that feeling. You know those old children's storybooks? It's like a fairy tale. It's like a storybook come to life. And the animation is just made in a way whereas the background is kind of flat to make it seem like it's on a page in a fairy tale book. And like my aunt kind of gave me some perspective on the biblical aspects about this film, about, you know, free will and choice. But with that being said, now let's get into what I didn't like and what didn't work about the movie for me. It may look like a painting. It may be interesting to look at. The characters look very odd in front of this background. And it's very interesting that they try to go for a fairy tale book-like atmosphere, but it never truly came together for me. This movie is a poor man's Encanto. That's what I thought when I walked out of it. Whereas that movie felt like an actual celebration of pure Disney. I remember just looking at everybody talk about it when it first came out. People were hyping up the We Don't Talk About Bruno song. I watched that movie. That's not even the best song. It's a great song, but dude, Encanto is freaking incredible, and it's just pure Disney, one of the best Disney movies I've ever seen, and in fact, it is the best Disney movie since Zootopia, and I think Zootopia is like my favorite revival era Disney movie. It's up there with the revival era, in my opinion. So, when I'm comparing this movie to Encanto, some movie that they just dumped on Disney Plus, and in theaters, but they dumped it on Disney Plus like 3 weeks later, dude, this movie is just lacking everything that Encanto had. This movie lacks the imagination that it's supposed to have. It's supposed to be a celebration of Disney's 100 years. Asha is supposed to be our protagonist, but she's just not likable to me. In fact, I found her pretty selfish. There was times where she would literally just focus on her family troubles and not anybody else's. We literally see everybody else's wishes, and she's like, no. Get his. No, get my mom's. Okay. What about everybody else? I mean, you're clearly in this room and has a bunch of people wishes. You could have at least grabbed at least 4 or 5 of them. I think you could have at least grabbed 4 or 5 of them. She was just pretty selfish, man. For the entire film, Asha was just only concerned about what she believed and about what she wanted. And in fact, she is pretty young, and she doesn't really understand what's going on here. All she sees is that King Magnifico has all of these wishes that some of them are not going to get granted, and she feels as though all of them should either be granted or all of them should be given back. I understand where she's coming from, but she's very selfish in the way that she's trying to make her point. We see inside of the film that most people are okay because they forget about their wishes. Now, going into King Magnifico, I know I'm jumping around a bit, but I low-key agree with him. No one forced the people of Rosas to... This is where I really get upset. I was watching the movie and this is where I really get upset. Nobody forced the people of Rosas to give King Magnifico their wishes. They volunteer to go up there. They're either chosen in the crowd or volunteer to go up there. But they're not forced to do that. King Magnifico never forced them to do that. You don't have to give him your wish. So you give him your wish and then expect him to grant it. Well, guess what? Not all the wishes need to be granted, or not all the wishes are going to get granted. Because if everything gets granted by the king, if everything is handed to them from the king, they will never achieve their wishes on their own. Why not achieve your wishes on your own? I'm going to spoil a little bit of a plot point here. Asha's grandfather, I think that it's her grandfather or her Sama or someone, he's 100 years old in the movie. He just turns 100 years old, never had his wish granted, right? But his wish was to do something, leave something for the next generation. And that something is playing music in front of a crowd for the next generation. Okay, you don't have to wish that. It's a very open community. This movie shows that it's a very open community where almost everyone knows each other. It's a very small village. You can just do that. Just go in the middle of a crowd and play your instrument. Everyone is going to support you. The people of Rosas want more and more. And some of them don't achieve their wishes on their own. They want it because it's either too hard or life is unfair. Just like King Magnifico said,
"You've completely missed the point. People come here because they know they can't make their own dreams come true. The journey's too hard. It is too unfair."
And also the king makes them forget that they even made the wish. So if it does get granted, hey, my wish got granted. If it doesn't, they would never even know and they would be going on with their lives. I don't like the idea of just them showing different people in the community just living their lives, chilling, whereas the main character, oh, I'm bummed out because I'm not the king's royal knight. I'm not the king's most trusted knight. Dude, you're 18. Like, come on. Like, it's one of those things where everybody in the movie felt like they were entitled to something. And sometimes you just have to make it happen on your own. I know, I get it. It's a fairy tale. I get it. It's a animated film. I get it. It's a Disney cartoon. I get that. It's an animated film for kids 7 and up. But usually these Disney movies, and for the past 23 years, maybe not 23 years, for the past 13 years, Disney movies have had some very smart and clever storytelling that made you either sympathize with the villain or hate the villain, but you love the protagonist. I didn't like the protagonist here. I love the villain, but that's because I like the performance and I like the voice work. King Magnifico has a whole backstory inside of this film, and I felt like they could have dived more into that backstory to kind of flesh out why he was doing what he was doing, or maybe he could have explained that to Asha. Look, you're young, you don't understand. My childhood home was destroyed. I mastered magic, so then none of that would happen again. And if I see anything that's a threat to our community, to our people, unfortunately, with that wish cannot be granted. I get all of that. Like, but they tried so hard in the movie to make this guy a villain. Like, he wouldn't be that much perceived as a villain if they just would have had one scene where he either explained that to his wife or explained that to Asha. To me, it felt like Asha was just, because of how she felt, she was messing with everybody else's lives. Even her grandfather said, why show me or tell me a wish that is not going to be granted? Why do that to me? Just let me forget. Let me not know that my wish will ever be granted. And it wasn't like King Magnifico showed his true colors and the Kingdom of Roses just didn't agree with him or didn't accept him. He turned one of the characters inside of the movies into like a zombie knight, and they all cheered him on for it. Clearly, they love the fact that this guy can grant them wishes, and they willingly do that. It was their choice, and it wasn't like he forced them to do anything. He's selfish, but at the same time, in some instances, he is kind of right. In other instances, when it does come to her grandfather's wish, it was not harmful at all. He could have granted the wish. He was just being a jerk then. That's when they truly made him into a villain. I think I'm done for that little rant section there. Usually Disney films got some clever comedy in the mix. None of the jokes landed. That goat, what was his name? Valentino? Horrible comedy. Horrible comedy. Alan Tudyk, I like him as a voice actor. Terrible, terrible comedy, bro. Oh my god. That goat was just so cringy and corny. And I just, like, everything that came out of his mouth, even the facial movements, was just something that maybe if I was 4 or 5 years old, I would be laughing out loud, peeing my pants. I get it. It's not like I'm not the target audience for that. But for the past 13 years, Frozen, Wreck-It Ralph, Zootopia, Tangled, Moana, Encanto came out 2 years ago. Funny, heartfelt, heartwarming, magical, imaginative, all of those movies. And then you get to Wish, and it's just like, I don't remember half the characters' names, because I don't care about them. I only know Asha and King Magnifico, because that's the main characters. And King Magnifico is like the star of the movie. He's the best part about it. And here's another issue. I'm just so sick and tired of the quirky female characters. You know, the characters that are just awkward and quirky and quips all the time, but always believes that they're right. And at the end of the day, they are proven right by the end. I'm just so sick and tired of those type of characters. What happened to the strong characters like Entangled and Moana and Frozen? Now we're just having the same quirky, awkward, socially anxious girl, and I'm just sick of it. And that's what Asha is. She is that character. And honestly, Encanto felt more like a celebration of Disney's 100th anniversary than this film. In conclusion, Wish is a predictable story that wants so hard to be the big tribute to Disney. They even have the end credits with all of the different characters or like different scenes from all of their movies from 1939 to now. That was incredible. I got to see Aladdin. I got to see Rafiki holding Simba. These are not spoilers, by the way, because we all know that it was a tribute to Disney. But all of it just falls flat on his face, man. You guys introduced ideas and rules such as the people of Roses forget that they even made the wish. So if that wish is not granted, they don't know that they made that wish. And you completely abandon those ideas. I like the songs. I love the songs. I got chills. They have some great voices here, and the voice actress of Asha and Chris Pine as King Magnifico, and Chris Pine was very fun in the role. But I didn't like the protagonist, and unfortunately, I didn't like this movie. It was a poor man's Encanto. The backgrounds just didn't look right to me. Just the story fell flat on its face, and as a tribute to Disney, this is very sad. I wanted to like this movie. I went with my aunt and my baby cousin. They both liked the movie. And it's great that they liked it. But all I saw was just a lot of problems, man. I don't think that a lot of people are saying, like, this is everything that's wrong with Disney. Keep in mind, this is a very watchable movie. Like, I would most definitely rewatch this movie again. Like, this is a very watchable movie. Only for the music and King Magnifico. I would very much rewatch this movie. But then again, when I get done, I'm not going to remember it in like 2.5 minutes. It's a C. It's a 4.8 out of 10. And I would say it's very magical. Again, it has that magical feel of it. But it's lacking imagination. It's lacking all of the heart. It's lacking all of the imaginative and innovative storytelling that the Disney films of old and the Disney films of the last 13 years have had. It's not the movie of the century. It just falls flat. Alright guys, that is it for the rant. Look, I want to love everything, and I want to like everything that I watch. And for the most part, I like the Marvels. Did not like Secret Invasion. I like Loki Season 2. Did not like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy, and I liked The Elemental, but I loved The Little Mermaid. So Disney's just been fluctuating all year, and unfortunately, I did not like Wish. Comment down below, what did you guys think of Wish? And please don't forget to check out that Twitter. That link is in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed this rant. I hope you guys can comment down below. Let's have a fun discussion about Wish, the positives and the negatives. With all of that out of the way, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Peace.